Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending upon where you're joining us from. Welcome to today's Northeast Pre-Site information session. Before we go ahead and get started, just wanted to let everyone know that you are on mute, but please feel free to type any questions or comments into the chat. We'll have an opportunity at the end of the session to review, and then Sam and I will also be monitoring the chat throughout the call and answering questions in real time when appropriate. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our Board of Regents Chair, Mr. Heath Barrett, to kick us off today. Heath.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon from Lynchburg, Virginia. Like Karen said, it may be good morning where you are, but welcome. Thank you for taking time to join us today. We are excited that you will be on campus at Villanova with us for this year's Northeast Institute. And today's call is designed to help you prepare so you can make the most of your experience. For those we haven't met yet, my name is Heath Barrett, as Karen said, and I have the honor of serving as chair of the Board of Regents. Along with an incredible team of volunteers and leaders, I have the privilege of helping coordinate this year's Institute and shape the week ahead. We put a great deal of thought into creating an experience that is engaging, educational, and filled with opportunities to connect with colleagues from across the region. Whether this is your first time at Northeast or you're returning, I encourage you to come ready to participate, build new relationships, share ideas, and enjoy everything the week has to offer you. We truly believe the connections you make here can be just as valuable as the sessions themselves. Now I'd like to turn things back over to Karen, who will walk you through things you need to know before you arrive and ensure you're prepared for a fantastic Northeast Institute experience. Karen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Heath, and my apologies, I did not introduce myself. As Heath said, Karen McCrae, I'm Senior Director of the Institute team, and along with my colleague Sam Kolb, we will be walking you through the week's events. So before we get to Villanova, obviously first is preparing for Institute. Hopefully by now you have heard from your class advisor and have been engaged in conversations with your fellow class members, whether that be via email or WhatsApp, Facebook group, whatever your mode of communication is. Hopefully you are having those conversations. If you have not yet heard from your advisor, please let us know. Feel free to drop a message in the chat or email us at iom@uschamber.com. If you recently registered, as in yesterday or the day before, or even on Monday, if you've registered this week, then you probably might not have heard from them. But other than that, if you registered prior to that, then you should have. So advisors, if you don't already know, are all graduates of the program, and they're all there to guide you as the attendee throughout the week and to ensure that you have the best experience possible. So hopefully, again, if you've been involved in these communications, you have been learning about some of the extracurricular opportunities outside of the classroom, which we'll talk about a little bit later during this call. And you've just received all of the logistical and additional, cultural information about the site to help prepare you. So class advisor, get to know them well. They are all fantastic. We have 4 amazing class advisors, and you'll get to know them throughout the week in person too. The event hub is next. This will be your one-stop shop for all things Institute related. And thank you, Sam. Just dropped a link in the chat. It's also accessible from the slide deck itself. For those of you who are not new to Institute and have attended in 2025 or in the past, you may remember we used to have a site app. We used to have Linktree. Now all we have is the event hub. So this is the one place you'll need to know. Please go ahead and bookmark it. Once you get on site, you will have a QR code on your name badge as well as your tent card, and that will take you directly to the event hub. So if you ever get lost and you're like, I don't know where I'm supposed to look, what website I'm supposed to go to, it is the event hub, and you will always be able to find it as long as you have your name badge or someone has a name badge near you. Please note, it is not yet fully updated for 2026 Northeast Institute. So if you have already played around or if you're currently going through it right now, know that it is not fully updated, but it will be in the coming days. But here you will be able to find quick links to all sorts of activities. Again, if you were familiar with last year's link tree, all of the links that were available on that will now be through the Event Hub, what we're calling quick links. And that is access to, again, industry consultation, silent auction, things we'll talk about a little bit later on during this call. You will also have access, most importantly, to your schedule of activities. This is specific to you. You do need to log in to the Event Hub to see your specific schedule. The login is the email and the password that was created while you actually registered for Institute. So with that, it'll have your class schedule complete with room location, faculty member, as well as resources. Again, it's not there yet, but there will be links to individual Dropbox accounts that will share, or Dropbox pages, excuse me, that will share all of the handouts that we have received from our faculty up until this point. So there will be PowerPoint presentations and, additional supplemental material if we have received it. If it's not there, that means we haven't received it yet from the faculty members. So don't worry, it will come soon. But all of those things plus more can be found in the Event Hub, including the attendee directory. So you all can find each other. You'll be able to search by class or by state. The volunteer directory, so you can view not only your class advisors, but also Heath and other members of the Board of Regents, as well as faculty. There will also be a section on U.S. Chamber resources. So if you have questions on additional programming or anything that the Chamber has to offer, you can find that information there as well. Again, it's not yet updated, but it will be. As far as what to bring, your attire for the week is business casual. We want you to be comfortable, always professional, but if business casual to you means, a button down and slacks, please, by all means, feel free. If you would feel more comfortable in jeans, or some classes do class t-shirts, so you'll have your t-shirt on, whatever is comfortable for you. Again, always professional. We do recommend dressing for the weather. It will be hot, as it always is in Pennsylvania in July, but the classrooms are often cold. So if you're like me, somebody who's always cold, bring layers. It's a good time to buy some Institute swag, which we'll talk about. But lots of opportunities for you, again, to be comfortable. Always recommend bringing an umbrella, because you never know. There is some walking at this site as well. So bring your walking shoes, and as I said, be comfortable. Materials, again, whatever works best for you, however you learn best. We will have optional, you don't have to take it, but it will be available to you at check-in, a notebook, a pen, a water bottle, as well as some other swag. But if you want to bring your laptop and follow along electronically, your tablet, your iPad, your phone, whatever you would like, just know that you will not likely have access to outlets to charge throughout the day. There will be, depending upon where your seat is in your classroom, access. However, not every seat will have that. So bring, portable chargers, etc., whatever you would like to bring. So that is as far as we go for preparing and what to bring. I am going to turn it over to Sam now to talk about actually what happens when you arrive, day one.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Karen. And my name is Sam. Great to meet you all. Yes, we're going to begin with the IOM Expo and registration. So this is part of the pre-site networking and IOM registration, which has in many ways evolved into something called the IOM Expo. This is taking place from 2:30 to 4 p.m. in the Villanova Room at the Colony Center. And we do recommend that you do arrive around 2:30 if you can. So you can be sure to find your name badge, you can find your tent card, and you can pick up some IOM merchandise. As an FYI, the merchandise does go a little quick. So one of our biggest things is the pins, and people love the pins. So the pins will run out quick. So I highly recommend that you show up for the pins. You will also meet your class advisor there in person, as well as others who will be in your class section. There will be other amazing tables where you can learn about Villanova, you can learn about our industry consultation program, and also talk to the Board of Regents. So there's a lot going on during this session, and we do know that you may be slightly tempted to just swing by late and grab your tent card and materials, but also you could just show up early and meet people and eat food. Like there's food here, guys. Show up for the food. Take part in the food and the fun. we have changed the order of things, notably this year. So in years past, homeroom has taken place right after the expo. But this year, it will take place right after kickoff. So after the expo, you will need to find your class section and be sure that you sit with them at kickoff. During kickoff, you will hear from your Board of Regents chair, the one and only Heath Barrett, who's on the call with us. And you'll also hear from a faculty speaker. And this is the perfect time, the perfect chance, you may say, to formally be introduced to the week. After this, you'll be led to homeroom by your class advisor. And the room that you go to will be the room that will also have all of your core classes for the rest of the week. There, your class advisor will go over introductions, they'll go over guidelines, and everything else that you need to know to have a successful week at Institute. Now, after this is over, you will then go. Oh, I just lost my notes. That's really funny. After this is over, you will have a free night. So that sounds very fun, doesn't it? That is your chance to explore Villanova. So you can either go spend time with your class, you can go out to dinner somewhere. You can also, if you really want to, you can lock yourself in your room. I mean, we're not going to say no to that. You can do whatever you want. So that brings us to what to expect day to day after discussing what to expect day one. And this leads us to attendance. So attendance at Institute is required for credit. If you have any questions or concerns about attendance, please work with your class advisor as they're in charge of conducting attendance during your core classes. You may have seen this, but different faculty may ask you to come prepared with materials, as Karen was referencing earlier. Again, we encourage you to visit the event hub. It is not currently updated, but we encourage you to visit it later after it is updated. And there you'll be able to review the materials and the handouts that you will need to be prepared for the week. Some may not have been uploaded yet, as she was mentioning, and they will slowly be uploaded as they are received by us from the faculty who are teaching the classes. We do also encourage you to bring a notebook, to bring a laptop, as Karen was mentioning earlier. Those things are pretty necessary at Institute. And regarding your core classes and electives, you will take 6 core and 3 elective classes. Your core classes are determined by your class section, and your elective classes were chosen by you. So your core classes will be of everyone else from your class section, and your electives will be of a mixture of other people from all class sections around Institute, potentially. And that just means that your electives are a great place to make friends, to meet new people. And that, yes, being social can sound a little scary, but like, well, that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be great. You're going to have a great time. If you want to see the electives that you've taken previously, you can always request a transcript from us by emailing the IOM inbox at iom@uschamber.com. We will send you a transcript. I will answer emails when we get to it. And you also notably, as a matter of fact, you can take the same elective. If you've done an elective in the past, we do not tell you no if you do want to do it again. So notably, the faculty for that elective may change, and also the material for that elective may also change. So if you want some updated, maybe more innovative information about that elective or whatever that elective is about, go ahead and take that class again. We do offer beverages also in the mornings, notably. However, breakfast is on your own. There will be a 30-minute morning break, as well as a 30-minute afternoon break and a 1-hour lunch. The breaks will take place in Barley Hall, in the Barley Exchange, and the lunches will take place in Doherty Hall. So be sure that you are there for those. And we also do trust that you submitted your dietary restrictions and all that information. If you have any questions about those or you would like to submit some more, please reach out to the IM inbox at iom@uschamber.com, and we will get back to you and we will pass those on to the catering staff at Villanova University. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back over to Karen, and she is going to talk to you about opportunities on site. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. So I had mentioned this briefly earlier as far as the quick link going to the industry consultations. You can also access it from the slide deck right here. That is hyperlinked industry consultations. For those who might not know, it's an opportunity for you as the attendee to request a private, more in-depth conversation with an industry expert on a topic of your choosing. So whether it be a deeper dive into something that you already learned about in class, or a very specific issue or challenge or something that's going on in your own organization, or something with your own professional development, and you want to talk to somebody about advancement in your career, whatever the topic might be, you can sign up and then you'll be paired with the appropriate facilitator. And those facilitators mostly come from our volunteers, our board of regents, our class advisors, as well as our faculty members too. So it's an added benefit, completely optional, but we encourage you to take advantage. For those who are interested, I do believe a couple of people have already signed up already. If you have, or if you sign up before we get to site, that's wonderful, but do not expect to hear anything back until we're actually on site. That is when the regents in charge will take a look at all the submissions and begin to make those pairings. So please do not panic if you have signed up and you haven't heard anything yet. The expectation is that you will hear once we are on site, likely on Monday. Other opportunities. Of course, we have our class dinner / activity on Monday, going back to previous class advisor discussions. This is something hopefully that has already been planned or is in the process of being planned. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to get out of the classroom and spend time together with your fellow classmates and your class members and your advisor. Another opportunity is our lunch table topics. Those will take place on Tuesday in the cafeteria over lunch. Again, completely optional, but there will be, I believe there's 5 topics that have been set, and that information will be shared with your class advisor next week, as well as when you're on site. So you'll have plenty of time to figure out whether or not you would like to participate. There's no sign up required, first come, first serve. Just sit down at the table of which the topic of your choosing is taking place. It is an informal, facilitated discussion. The object is to really have those conversations among your peers. So while the facilitator, who will be a member of the Board of Regents, will be there, they should not be, dominating the conversation. It's really for you all to talk among your peers. Again, completely optional. If you would like to just kind of turn your brain off and relax during lunch, or do some networking, or have an opportunity to catch up on work, whatever you would like to do. It is up to you how you use that time. We also have fundraising opportunities. If anyone on the call has received a Regent-specific scholarship for Northeast, all of those funds came from the fundraising that was done at Northeast the previous year. So anything that is raised for 2026 will be redistributed in the form of Northeast-specific scholarships in 2027. So it's a great way to pay it forward and get some cool things while you're at it. If you bid on some items and win items in the silent auction, which of course is the main fundraiser, we encourage people to donate as well. You can do that by either donating an item for the auction, or if you just want to make a straight cash donation, that's of course acceptable as well. Thank you. And by cash, I mean via. But, anything is greatly appreciated. This is also completely optional, but highly encouraged. Again, this is how we fund scholarships. The money is all redistributed back to the attendees. And thank you, Sam's been putting links in the chat as well. The auction will take place all week. You'll have an opportunity to see the physical items as well as just bidding. It's a text platform. For those who have been to Institute before, it's Event Gives. It's the same platform we've been using for years. You don't have to download an app. It's all web and text-based. It will close. The auction will close at 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. We also have some merchandise. Hopefully some of you may have already purchased some items from Northeast specific swag. The store has temporarily closed, and that is so that those items that have already been purchased are able to be produced and shipped to site. They'll be waiting for you at the registration and expo for you to pick up. If you have not purchased something, but you are interested in purchasing, do not fret. The store will reopen when we're on site. So you will still have an opportunity to purchase. It will be shipped. You will have to pay a little bit extra for shipping, and it will be shipped home to your work or your home, wherever, whatever address you provide. But the items are marked up slightly higher, so that way any additional proceeds do also get distributed to the scholarship fund, or excuse me, they go to the scholarship fund and then they get distributed in the form of scholarships next year. So some great opportunities for you there. And then moving on, we do have graduation. Of course, the main event, if there are any fourth years on the call with us right now, if not, first, second, and third, you'll be there soon enough. Everyone is expected to participate in graduation. Again, the main event, it's an opportunity to celebrate not only the grads, but the entire week, the program for everyone who has participated. It will take place in Driscoll Hall, which is right across from Bartley. For those who were at Northeast last year, it's the same auditorium, the same building as last year's. That will be on Wednesday, again at 6:30. Graduates, if you are on the call, you will receive more information as we are on site, but you'll get there a little early at 5:30, and we'll take pictures ahead of time. Everyone else is invited to join, have some food. We're all about the fun and the food. And mix and mingle with not only members of your class, but members of other classes, as well as our volunteers, our faculty, our staff. That will be at 5:45 in Driscoll in the atrium, so prior to the ceremony itself. And then after graduation, all of the remaining classes will have their group photos. We'll also do a scholarship photo. So everyone is, going to be dressed a little bit, going back to attire. The important thing is that you are there for graduation. We would rather have you be there than be worried about not dressing properly. That being said, this event is a bit more formal. So the graduates will be they tend to be in suits or blazers or slacks or dresses, blouses. You, if you're not a graduate, are not required to do that. However, you are welcome to, again, however you're comfortable. And then after the ceremony itself, there's no formal programming. So everyone is encouraged and invited to go out and celebrate how you see fit. We do have class the following day at 8 a.m. So the final day, as I mentioned, does start with that last core class. The graduates will have something a little bit extra special for them that morning. We previously mentioned the auction will close at 8. So during that morning break is when all the items need to be picked up. Class does end at 11:30. The Radnor, for those who are staying at the hotel, their traditional checkout is at 11. However, everyone in our block was granted a little bit of an extension till 12 o'clock. So that should automatically be set up. If you are interested in a later checkout than 12, then that is something that you would have to have a conversation with the hotel directory directly, and see what sort of availability they have for late checkout. But everyone at the Radnor, if you're in our block, it's a 12 p.m. checkout. They do have luggage storage available, as well as those staying on campus. There is no formal checkout process. They will have everything available to you on campus until 2 p.m., at which time your key card will be deactivated and you need to have all of your belongings out of the hotel room by that point. If you are staying at a different location from the two that have previously been mentioned, we do not have a formal registration room block there. So it is whatever the hotel policy states. We don't have information on the other places. So then everything ends at 11:30. At this time, I see, Sam, thank you. You've already been responding to a couple of the questions in there. And Sheena, you would know if you were a graduate. So I'm going to venture and say you're not, because you would know if you were a fourth year. Assuming you're probably a first year, which is wonderful, which means if I'm understanding correctly, that this is your first time attending Institute. So you will receive all the information. A lot of this will make much more sense to you once you've been on site and seen it all in action. Your first year. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So I bet we have a lot of first years on the call with us right now. And again, this call was really designed for you as a first year and anyone new specifically to the Northeast site. It's a lot of information. We understand you're probably feeling a little bit like a deer in the headlights right now. It will make sense when you get there, I promise. But again, this is where you really lean and rely on your class advisor for the first years. That's Beth. She's wonderful. She just graduated last year, so she's very familiar with all the things relating to Institute and Northeast specifically. She graduated from Northeast. So lots of information, but please feel free to ask any and all questions. We have reached the official end of the slide deck presentation, but this is a great opportunity to open it up to Q&A. So, anything additional that you all have been wondering, things that we haven't touched on or things that we have touched on that you would like a little bit more clarification on, please feel free to drop that in the chat. The parking situation. Thank you, Chris. That is a great question. So it's always fun for those who have been to Villanova before with construction. This is true of all of our sites. I'm giving Villanova a hard time. All of our sites, because we do take place on a college campus, there's always construction when school is not in session. So we get it. We work around it. As of now, the parking deck that we are encouraged and able to park in for those who are driving is right. It's called I-1, I believe. It's right across the street from the main entrance of Villanova's campus. It's on the other side of Lancaster. Again, if you've never been there, this means nothing to you. But for those who are returning, it's the same garage right on the corner. We're going to put together a map that has, the campus has a map already, but highlighting all of the important buildings that we're in. So that main garage will be part of it. It is free of charge. The arm should be up. You should not have to pay anything to park there throughout the week. So that main ITHN 1, I think is what it's called, parking garage. But again, this will be shown visually on a map that will be shared with your class advisor as well. I do want to highlight too, I had dropped this in the chat, but in case you haven't seen it, for those, who are coming to Villanova for the first time, this doesn't mean anything to you, but for those returning on Sunday, just make note, we are not using Bartley Hall. The main location where we have classes, that will start on Monday. So everything on Sunday, registration, expo, homeroom, and kickoff will all be at the Connolly Center, which is a different building. It's not Bartley Hall. Again, this will be indicated on the map. It is probably a 2-minute walk from Bartley. It's not very far. For those who are driving, I'm in the process of finding out from our university contacts if we can park closer on Sunday. There is a parking deck behind the Connolly Center, so I don't anticipate there being any issues parking there, but I just want to get final clearance before saying, yes, go ahead and park there, and then everyone gets tickets. We want to avoid that. So again, more information will be shared with your class advisor next week. We'll also have answers in our pre-site email that will go out to all attendees. So you should hopefully be able to get that information from both your class advisor and from Institute's email as well. So thank you, Sam, for pinning that. Yes, everything on Sunday will be at the Connolly Center, and then Monday morning we will be in Bartley Hall for the remainder of the week outside of graduation, which will be in Driscoll Hall. So that's the parking. There's another question for first years. Do you recommend staying at the hotel or on campus? So, well, I'm sorry, Heath, did you say something? Oh, okay. Sorry. I heard background noise. So I'm assuming, Melina, that you don't have a room yet. We are, honestly, at this point, I would say wherever you can get a reservation, because we are past the cutoff date for both the hotel and on campus. So feel free to contact us at iom@uschamber.com if you're having any trouble, and we can see what we can do. But honestly, it's really up to you and whatever your preference is. There are benefits to both options. One, the Radnor is a hotel. So all of the amenities that you would expect at a regular hotel, you will receive there. It is, however, probably about a 10-minute drive, depending upon lights. So there is that. There is the distance. If you do not have a car, we highly recommend carpooling, finding someone in your class. A lot of people drive to this site. So a lot of people will have space in their car. Also, if that's not an option, then we say Uber or Lyft or whatever your preferred rideshare app is. There will not be any formalized transportation provided by Institute. So that is obviously a downside to staying at the hotel, but if that's not a concern, if transportation isn't a bother, then that's fine. On campus, it is right across the street, so walkable, very convenient, walkable. It is also more economical to stay on campus, but you are staying in a campus dorm. So all the amenities that were mentioned from the hotel, you will not have in your dorm. You are provided with sheets and bedding and whatnot. But I mean, don't expect much of anything else to be in the dorm room for you. So again, depends upon what you're interested in and what works best for you. So no right or wrong way to do it. Is there, I see, public transit from the hotel to campus housing? Okay, so no, I did just speak on that. There, I would say there's not a public transit. There is a SEPTA train that does go from Philly and from the airport to campus, however, not from the hotel to campus. Oh, and you already have a hotel. Perfect. Okay, beautiful. That's great. Great that you already have a spot at the hotel. You will see both. We have a group of 40 or 50 or so, I think, staying at the hotel. There's a group of 20 or so staying at on campus. I think there's a group of fourth year staying at the Wayne Hotel, which is the sister property to the Radnor. And then other people stay throughout different locations. I know there's a new Marriott that was just built. Sometimes people do their own Airbnb. It's, again, no wrong way to do it. There will be a group at the hotel, though. I can tell you that at the Radnor. The restaurant that opened literally the day before we got there last year is up and running. So that has a full restaurant and bar. It is completely separate as far as management goes from the hotel. It is physically attached to the Radnor, but there's nothing included in your room rate or anything like that because it's managed separately. So Triple Crown is what it's called. It's very good. It's not cheap. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but again, it's convenient. It's right there for those who are staying at the hotel. There was a lot of me throwing information at you. Other questions? Heath, anything to add? Any words of wisdom?
Yeah, so I'll touch on Catherine's question that you answered already. The first day, you're going to see people out in front of the Radnor Hotel. They have their phones out and they're waiting on their Uber or their Lyft. And so many people are walking out to their car and they're offering rides. And so you're gonna watch people leave in their own car alone. So don't feel like you have to wait on Uber or Lyft. There will be plenty of people every day offering rides to and from campus. It's really fun. And it's a great way to just meet someone new and continue building that network.
Thank you. Great. Any other questions? Going once. Sam, anything to add before we call it?
I think we're good to go. Thanks for being here. And thanks for your words of advice, Heath. That was great. Thanks.
Well, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I do encourage anyone that would like to connect on LinkedIn, feel free to look for me on LinkedIn and reach out through Messenger if you have any kind of questions. I'm looking forward to the week. It's going to be awesome, and look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you. And before we sign off, I saw there was one last question. Will we have a list of other people in our year? So yes, this is something that you'll be able to access, or you can access it now. That is up to date in the event hub. So if you log into the Event Hub and you click on the attendee directory, you should be able to search by class year from the drop-down menu, and then that will pull up everyone in your year. Also, your class advisor can share. There is a link. I don't know. Some of them might have already shared, or they might have shared it via Excel spreadsheet. But they have access to the full roster from your class as well. So they should be able to share that too. Great. Good question. Great. All right. Well, with that, unless there's anything else, thank you again for joining us. And if you're watching the recording, thank you for taking the time to watch this. And do not hesitate to reach out to your class advisor or to us, iom@uschamber.com, and let us know what questions or concerns you have prior to arrival. And even when you do get there, you will have lots of questions. Also, for those of you who are new, one last thought, one last parting thought on such a positive note. There are often transportation issues. So whether you are driving, flying, training, there are all sorts of delays. That is okay. That happens every year. Such is life. Do not worry if you are unable to make it to the registration on Sunday, or if you're running late. Just be in communication with your class advisor, so they know that you're okay. But other than that, we'll take care of you when you get there, and make sure that you know where you're going. So I just like to share that as a blanket statement, because there's always transportation issues. So sending out all the positive travel vibes into the universe. Safe travels to everyone. Thank you again. And we will see you shortly in Villanova. Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye.